Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. I am in the baby's room because there is work being done in our house, and this is the quietest room because there's no baby in it right now, but you got to work with what you got. And so this is what we got today. So here are your top 3 stories in 5 minutes or less. Of those top 3 stories, I'm actually not going to include impeachment, but I do want to give you an update. So this week, what we saw is the House Judiciary Committee came up with articles of impeachment or charges against the President of the United States. They passed those out of committee and tossed them over to the House of Representatives, where next week the House of Representatives will vote on whether or not to impeach the President of the United States. It is historic. It is significant. As far as how it impacts your everyday life, I think it's debatable. But these 3 other stories do impact your life, and that's why I want to make sure to mention them to you today. So, big story this morning is about the trade war between China and the United States, the 2 largest economies in the world. The United States has been negotiating for better trade terms, and what we've been watching very closely is what happens on December 15th. December 15th is when the next round of taxes or tariffs would be put in place against Chinese imports to punish China to try to get to these better terms. And what we learned today is that next round of tariffs will not take place because there is some progress. We don't know the specifics and no one is signing on the dotted line anywhere, but both sides say they came to some sort of agreement for phase 1 of a new trade deal between the 2 countries. And so that's why the United States is backing off this next round of tariffs. I've been telling you about this because this next round of tariffs would really affect a lot of the goods that we use every day, like our cell phones or our laptops or our computers or toys. So I was telling you, maybe you should go shopping for those items just in case. But right now, it doesn't look like there's going to be extra tariffs put on those items. And so we'll take the progress for what it is, a little bit vague, but that's what's going on. Second thing you should know is that there was some sort of bipartisan compromise that did happen in Congress despite all the divisiveness that we see on a regular basis. And this is regarding a new trade deal between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. It's the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. It replaces NAFTA, which was the big North American trade deal. And this trade deal overall creates good terms for our 3 countries to work together. There's a lot packed into this trade deal, but one of the things I think you should know about is it requires companies to source and produce a certain amount of their products in North America and pay their workers a certain amount of money. And so that can benefit American jobs. Some economists say it's very limited, but for what it is, it has updated the trade terms of a former trade deal that was passed in the 1990s. And this has brought Republicans and Democrats together to pass this out of the House, and now it will go to the Senate. Once it gets through the Senate, it can actually officially go into effect. So we'll be watching that. The last thing you should know about is, again, some more bipartisan agreement. This is about the Defense Authorization Bill, a new military bill. And there's, again, a lot packed into this, but the 2 highlights you should know about is that it will fund a new Space Force. That's going to be the 6th Division of the U.S. military. It will be under the Air Force, sort of like the Marine Corps is underneath the Navy, but it will be a new development, a new program to fund that the president has advocated for as a way to modernize our military. So that's packed into the bill. And the other thing that's packed into the bill that's not specific towards the military, but may have some real effect on families across the nation is a new parental leave policy for federal workers. It would guarantee federal workers 12 weeks of paid parental leave. And this is significant because the United States has no federal law for maternity leave in America or paternity leave. It's up to the states and it's up to different companies. And so the question is about whether or not this particular law will help influence more generous paid parental leave policies across the country. We'll see what the effect is, but that was part of this big military bill. So those are 3 stories I think you should know about this week, a lot having to do with the economy. An update when it comes to the trade war between the United States and China. We have progress when it comes to a new North American trade deal that will hopefully help produce some better terms for American companies and American workers. And also the Defense Authorization Bill, a big military bill that's helping to modernize, some say, the military and also potentially impact American families in a very practical way. So those are the 3 smarter stories I think you should know about. Let me know what you'd like to hear more about next week. info@smarternews.com. I'm Jenna, and I'll see you next week on Smarter News.